Ladies and gentlemen, this is JoeJinMovieSoAwesome. I'm Joe.
I'm Won-Jin.
Today we're going to talk about House of the Dragon, Season 2, Episode 1. Spoilers ahead for the first episode and Season 1 in the past. Here we go. We're going to try to keep this rapid fire this time, guys. So, big shout out to Zezzy, big shout out to Scott Walker, Jasmine, Kayla Marie, Ui Chan Hong, Zach Miller Does Movie.
What's up, Zezzy?
What's up, Zezzy? And all our most loyal 37 subscribers. Let me go first one.
Okay.
You know, in a word, the first episode, it was alright. It was alright. And then, lastly, I was like, You know, I gotta say, I think Westeros has desensitized me to casual violence. I mean, I also noticed the new title sequence. I don't like it that much. I actually like the
blood flowing thing that we saw in the first season.
I thought the first season one was very it was kind of an homage to Game of Thrones, because Game of Thrones opening scene was very iconic, right? And then we moved to location and maps. But I guess this one, it's a tapestry, and it's showing like the events of season 1 or things to happen. It wasn't bad, but I'm just so used to that the classic let's look around Westeros stuff. But this episode, I did like the opening scene. Like opening scene and last scene were great. The middle, I thought it was a little bit a little bit of checking the boxes. You know, because you were there. Larys is still there.
What's up, Scott Walker?
Yeah, Scott Walker. Let's do that in our Let's Talk session, man. We can talk about this. This is a review for House of the Dragon, Season 2, Episode 1. So I did love the opening scene of starting with the North, and like how we get to meet Torrhen Stark's son. I assume because Torrhen Stark was, remember, in Season 1, the guy who swore allegiance to Rhaenyra, that's right. Yeah, so this is the son, so he's saying keep the quote. But I do like us seeing these new things where we see the wall again like 100 years before, and we see the elevator being well maintained, and we see a bunch of prisoners. Like, this is a well-fed army.
Yeah, it's when everything was spick and span.
Yeah. And then I do like the idea of graybeards. I like how the North has like casual drunk Irish uncles who are bored as fuck, ready to go to war.
It's something I've always liked about Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. It's that it's a fictitious land, but based on how they speak, we can kind of tell where they're from.
No, I mean, I think Game of Thrones did that because the Northerners, they actually have the Northern English accent, and they decided.
They sound Scottish. They sound Irish.
No, because this actor, that Stark guy, he was definitely trying to do the Eddard Stark. Like, I think so. Yeah, it has dragons, Scott Walker. I need a lot of recap. I forgot a lot of what happened the last season. Yeah, me too. Yeah. But so it was kind of a catch up. So I understand that, but I did feel a little bit like this episode was definitely a setup. And
it also didn't forget to give us a little shock in the end.
Let's save on that for last.
Yeah.
I do have some gripes though. I don't like the fact that Corlys and Queen Alicent are fucking. Like, I thought.
Oh, you mean the Kingsguard commander guy?
Yeah.
I forgot his name. Christian?
Oh yeah, you're right. His name was Christian. I thought them actually not fucking and having this weird, like, motherly, like, queenish, like, weird...
Like, weird tension?
Yeah. I actually like
that would have been better?
Like, now that they showed me, like, they were fucking, I was like, I like the... Because I thought it was a great parallel to Larys, like, that foot fetish guy, who is now scheming to, oust Alicent's father. So we are already seeing... I think part of the theme here is... internal division in both green and black. In the black side, we already have Daemon, who obviously has some kind of psychological issue. I like how Rhaenys was like,
You have no command over me.
you don't command me, bitch. And then like Daemon being frustrated leads to that the scene you were about to talk about. So about the baby murder, man, that was shocking.
That was shocking. But I don't know. I guess Game of Thrones.
Oh, we Chan Home. Big shout out. Food Fetish. Glad you can join us.
Yeah, that's right. That weird dude. Creepy guy. But I think this series and Game of Thrones have desensitized us to so much violence that even when that was like happening, you can like you hear the sound and everything.
Bone cracking.
Yeah, I was just like, okay. I mean, yes, it is shocking. And then I had to wonder, like, has this ever been done in other TV shows before? Did they ever like deal with killing a toddler or beheading a toddler? Because it's very macabre.
I mean, Game of Thrones. You remember in Game of Thrones, the very first season, you start off with Jaime pushing a kid and crippling him for life. So I guess.
But I mean, that's pretty far from beheading.
You think so? Yeah, but I did like that particular scene where the Helaena actor. I thought her acting was on point because you would expect them to freak out or something, but I like how she's just completely paralyzed. Like I thought that was I never seen somebody beheaded before, so I don't know how they react. But I thought that was a great choice on the part of the writers.
I think from this point on, I think it's going to drive her even more crazy because of this. Because I mean, that's like crazy trauma. And I also like the touch where she like points at her son, and she wasn't actually lying or anything. Yeah,
I think her actually pointing to the sun has something to do with her being a dreamer. Because so she can see the future. Remember, she already said, "I'm afraid of the rats," so she knew it was going to happen. And I thought, like, I like how the revelation of the two murderers going like, oh, she's speaking true. I like how there's so many interpretations that's possible. One is that Helaena doesn't love her husband or her children because she obviously doesn't hate her husband, aka brother. And I like how it could be interpreted as her already knowing that this is unstoppable. So pointing to the sun.
Oh, that's a good point.
So I thought they did it really smart where, because the murderers are the one who are shocked. I was like, motherfucker, you came here to assassinate a man, and you act like, oh shit, this bitch doesn't care about her son. Okay, let's proceed to chop his head off. I was like, fuck you. And
I was also kind of hoping before the show ended that maybe she was playing this like super smart brain game. So I know that I might be lying, so I'm gonna point to the actual boy so that you think I'm actually pointing at the girl, but actually it was the son, and blah 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 blah. And I was also wondering, they had the time to debate about which one was the boy. Just pull down the pants. What the fuck?
No, actually,
yeah, you could just check if the penis is there or not.
Her reaction was super cruel with yeah, but Zezzy, like I said, I thought it was kind of open to interpretation because when she runs out with the daughter, like I thought she was in shock.
Yeah, she was in total shock. Or something. Yeah. That's why she doesn't even like mind what was going on with her mother and the commander.
And you know what I did? Like back to your point about pulling down the pants, right?
Yeah.
It did make me think like, so you successfully infiltrated the castle, right? If I'm Daemon, I think he's the one who told them son for a son, right? That's why those murderers utter that word. But I thought Daemon should have said, listen, once you clap Daemon and you can clap everybody else, I'll add 50,000 gold each for every prince's son.
Each royal member.
Yeah. I was just like, hey, like, and I think Daemon is going to pay for this because it's such a strategic mistake. Like, because don't you think if you murder a child, you're going to be condemned by the whole kingdom?
That's right. And I also like the fact that they give a touch on, like, showing Alicent's humanity. Because remember when she was lighting the candle, she kind of hesitates, but then she wishes...
Yeah.
What is it? Like, she kind of pays tribute to Luke, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we know that because of this, her last shred of humanity will just be obliterated.
Yeah. They simply walked in like bosses in a garden. Yeah. Yeah. No, but like, back to the point I was making was that, like, if you're going to do something dark like that, you should have gone all the way.
Yeah.
Like, I'm saying, like, why stop with a child? You're going to be, like, you're going to lose a lot of moral support for your cause now. Because, yeah, Luke was a teenager, I'm assuming, almost an adult, but you just assassinated a baby child.
Yeah.
That word's going to spread. And I think Daemon should have gone all the way. We already know you're a wife murderer. And, like, allegedly had, like, I mean, you banged your niece. And I thought that was a little weird. And one scene I didn't. They simply walked in like.
Oh, and also where were all the guards? I think maybe that deep inside the castle, there aren't so many guards because I'm pretty sure it's heavily guarded on the outside. But once they're in the inside, I guess they just don't put as many guards because I'm pretty sure the royal members also want their privacy. And of course, they also have limited resources to keep guards everywhere.
And another surprise for me was I like how they gave Aegon, who could have been Joffrey 2.0, a different spin.
Oh, that's right.
Because
that was a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a good touch. Like how he
cares about the small folks.
He's still down to earth.
Yeah, I mean, because I think that he was written well. Because in season 1, we saw him roaming the streets, so he understands. The
he knows the streets. That's right.
Yeah.
I run the streets, baby.
Yeah. Look, because like I love even like how. Hey guys, point to me if this is racist. Okay, I thought the word I was looking for was like ghetto fabulous. Because when he walked in, his homies are like magnanimous. I was like, hell yeah! And then like I like how he can connect with the small folks too.
And I also found it hilarious that the assassins, they could just casually walk right in front of the king, and they didn't give a shit.
Yeah, that was weird because this feels dreamy. But I thought it was just to show like Aegon in a more, I guess it's a positive light, you know, because I like how he stands up to his grandfather too, because his grandfather, because Aegon has a point when he says we need the small folks to win the war.
Yeah, we need their support.
Yeah, so he's not completely incompetent. I mean, he is incompetent, yes, but not to the level of Joffrey.
Yeah, who's like completely senseless. Basically.
Yeah, kill like knights and people for no basic fucking reason. But here, like he does have, and I think Aegon is very self-aware. I like that about him because I think in season 1, when he was talking to Alicent, like he says, "I don't want to be king."
Yeah. And
then now that he knows his son, who we saw him bring to the small
meeting,
council meeting. And now that if he knows he's dead, like he's gonna go ape shit too.
Not just dead, like beheaded.
Yeah.
And Zedzy's saying that what if the next episode all this was a bad dream? But I kind of know like what happens in the book. So there's no way that this is just a bad dream because things are only gonna get even more horrible from this point on. And yeah, Rhaenyra, she's gonna have to pay for all this eventually.
Oh, and one thing I also loved is Sea Snake has a bastard, like that. I think.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, his father from Raised by Wolves. He played that android. Remember? I think he's Sea Snake's bastard.
Oh,
that makes sense, right?
Yeah, that's why he wanted to have that conversation with him there.
Yeah. So, and I'm guessing. We have a bunch of dragons, remember, from season 1. So I think we're gonna get that bastard might ride the dragon of what was his name? His son that escaped with his lover. Yeah, so he might. I think that bastard might ride that dragon. Because we're already getting hints of like both of them keenly aware of dragon capacity, yet they don't. They're playing defensive, both of them, because Vhagar is protecting the capital, and Meleys is it that red dragon that Rhaenys floats around. They're patrolling, and Daemon kind of says, "Let's go kill the dragon." I think we're gonna have an epic dragon fight this season. It's gonna lead to that.
Yeah,
because it's like both side has a nuke, but they don't want to use it yet because they are hoping that they can negotiate. And I think that line is steadily breaking down. And
one thing I was kind of wondering to myself about was, when one of the guards noticed I think it was Vhagar, and they say dragon, and they're like, ready the scorpion, blah 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 blah. And I was thinking to myself, wasn't scorpion invented by that what's his name in Game of Thrones? So even like 170 years ago, they also had a scorpion.
No, I think that one actually has a simpler explanation because just like the wall is, how it's better manned. Because remember in Game of Thrones, we got to a point where they don't believe dragons existed.
Oh,
so I think
okay.
These technology was just always there.
But it's been like decommissioned.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know how like those like sci-fi tropes where like ancient civilization had better technology than us. Like the Roman concrete and medieval people not having that.
Qyburn, that's right.
Qyburn
was his name. So, like you said, it was decommissioned. It was kind of forgotten in history, and then Qyburn brought it back.
Yeah, because it makes sense. Because when Meleys arrives, they have a dragon station. Like they have dragon trainers. So I assume that people have anti-dragon weapons. So I think this is more of a golden age that. Like Game of Thrones people completely forgot about. And I think that has like real life events like Roman concrete, remember? Like Romans were better builders than medieval Europe. So but anyway, so we're going to keep this short and sweet. Let's give a number grade.
The start, I think it's a good start. And I like the fact that even though they tried to like give us a recap of what happened in the previous season and everything, they still managed to give like more dimensions to these characters. Like for example, Aegon and all these other characters. So I like that touch. And they didn't forget to include that little shock element in the end. So I think it's a very good start, and I look forward to what's going to happen in further episodes. And
so number grade, man. Number grade.
I would give it.
Oh,
I would give it an 8.
5?
Yeah,
8?
I would give it an 8. Yeah, I think it's an 8.
You know what? I'm gonna give it a 7.
Okay.
Because 8. Like here's my reason. I think you pointed out well how we're desensitized, and I also felt like a lot of plot points were, because remember, like we're coming from 7 seasons of Game of Thrones, and 1 season of House of the Dragon, which was good. But I do feel like there were a lot of things that we've seen this before in terms of intrigue and plot. So I do hope the coming episodes increases the stake a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want some like super fast escalation so that we get to see things that were talked about in Game of Thrones but never seen on screen. So that's like, I actually do want some scale going on, and I don't mind the politics and all that, but I do feel like because Littlefinger spoiled me. Like he did so many menacing
the political
the
political intrigue.
Yeah. So for me, this episode was saved by the opening scene and the last scene. In the middle, it was like, okay, let's get the show going. So it wasn't bad, but I also don't like, it wasn't like boom like the first time, because remember House of the Dragon season 1, I thought it was more thematically rich because it had the childbirth, and I thought it had the woman theme more intertwined realistically in a medieval here.
Yeah, that's true, and that also like spread across different characters, not just
right. But this one,
I keep forgetting the name. Rhaenys and Rhaenyra, and also Alicent.
Yeah, but this one I thought it was a little bit more upfront about it, not as subtle as the first season. But anyway, guys, we're gonna end it here, and then we're gonna turn it right on, and then talk about Boys season 2, episode 4. Thank you for tuning in. We're trying a new rapid fire stuff to focus on reviews for reviews, and we're gonna talk with you guys in the Let's Talk session. This has been JoeJinMovieSoAwesome. I was Joe.
I was Won-Jin.
We'll see you in 10 seconds.
Okay.
Bye.
It might be like 30 seconds at least.
Yeah, they believe the same. Boys, fuck yeah. Most cases, they have the same mindset. Yeah. Power on. Joe at full capacity. Won-Jin at full throttle. We must eat chicken. This is all for chicken. Rapid fire was made up bullshit.